If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. African proverb. From lone wolf to wise circle, reimagining leadership through connection. In the realm of leadership, the archetype of the solitary trailblazer, the lone wolf, has long been romanticised. Fiercely independent, self-reliant, unyielding. These traits are often praised, but they come at a cost: isolation, burnout, and disconnection from the very communities leaders aim to serve. Contemporary leaders, especially those navigating life in rural or remote contexts, are expected to carry it all. Lead the business, manage the team, hold the vision, and in times of crisis, care and advocate for their community. Rural and remote leaders are often the one everyone turns to, yet rarely the one anyone checks in on. In a culture that often prizes self-sufficiency, we speak too little about the emotional and strategic cost of isolation, and are rarely encouraged to explore the transformative power of that may come if we draw support from a wise circle. The hidden cost of going it alone. Recent studies highlight the significant impact of social isolation on both physical and mental health. According to the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, AIHW, in 2023, women aged 25 to 54 reported higher rates of loneliness than men, while men aged 55 to 64 experienced more social isolation and lower life satisfaction. Loneliness, in short, is a shared and often silent experience across genders. In rural and remote areas, this reality is magnified by geographic distance, stigma around help seeking, and limited access to services or peer support. Many professionals, especially those in visible leadership roles, struggle with being perpetually on. In small communities, there's little space to blend into the crowd or take a Sunday morning coffee without being recognised. That kind of anonymity, commonplace in cities, is a luxury in the bush. The rural reality, isolation amplified. Rural and regional professionals, owners, health practitioners, senior managers, and service leaders often juggle multiple responsibilities with little structural or emotional support. In these environments, leadership can feel like a lonely frontier. As Warren Davies, the unbreakable farmer, reminds us, rural resilience isn't about doing it alone. It's about recognising when it's time to reach out and who you're reaching for. He speaks candidly about the mental health challenges faced by rural Australians. Through his work, he emphasises the importance of communication, connection, and seeking support to navigate the unique stresses of rural life. From isolation to integration, building your wise circle. Transitioning from toughing it out as a lone wolf to drawing support from a wise circle involves intentional action and reflection. Self-awareness. Recognize the signs of disconnection and acknowledge your need for real support. Community engagement. Attend local gatherings, reconnect with old colleagues, or join groups where your presence doesn't need to perform. Just belong. Digital networks are great, but the in-person presence of a trusted peer can't be underestimated. Leverage technology. Use digital tools to connect with peers and mentors beyond your postcode. In communities where privacy is a challenge, a virtual mentor outside your region can offer both insight and psychological safety. Seek professional support. Consider working with a coach, mentor, or therapist who understands rural leadership dynamics and operates with confidentiality and care. A professional listener can hold space in a way that peers, however well-meaning, may not. What is a wise circle? A wise circle is not a mastermind or networking group. It's a small, trusted constellation of peers and mentors who offer psychological safety, a space to be real, vulnerable, and imperfect. Strategic clarity, sounding boards who broaden your thinking. Mutual growth, collective wisdom that benefits everyone involved. Complementary strengths, diversity of thought, skill, and experience. Shared values, alignment around ethics, purpose, and contribution. Think of it as your personal board of advisors for life and leadership, not to direct you, but to reflect you, challenge you, and stand with you. Why wise circles matter, especially in regional and remote communities. For rural leaders, connection isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. When you're managing burnout, community scrutiny, or operational overwhelm, a wise circle can offer emotional grounding after a tough week, new perspectives when self-doubt creeps in, ideas you wouldn't have reached alone, a buffer from decision fatigue and moral stress. Even a monthly check-in with 3 to 5 trusted people can make a meaningful difference. Case in point, regional collaboration that works. Across Australia, grassroots peer circles and innovation networks are already changing the leadership landscape. In one initiative supported by the Rural Leadership Foundation, a small group of rural health leaders formed a WhatsApp group. Simple, informal, but transformative. It became their go-to place for sense-making during policy shifts, sharing burnout strategies, celebrating small but meaningful wins. It didn't require funding or formality, just trust, purpose, and consistency. From lone to linked. Participating in a wise circle doesn't diminish your autonomy. It amplifies your leadership by rooting it in community and collective intelligence. In a world where AI and automation are transforming work, human-centered leadership grounded in connection will be our competitive advantage. Especially in regional and creative sectors, the future will not be built by lone wolves, but by those who choose shared wisdom and support over solitary resilience. If you've been carrying the burden of your leadership all alone, it may be time to reach out, not for help, but for sustainable co-evolution. Thank you for listening. If you would like to download a free checklist to help you start creating your own wise circle, the download buttons are at the end of this article.